Welcome to our indexing training video. Once you have loaded the Scan2Us and Print2Us software, and you have downloaded your Scan2Us remote viewer, you are ready to build your remote filing system. Here is a diagram of the hard components you will be using to process, store, and retrieve your files. From your scanner, or using Print2Us, you will upload documents to your remote filing cabinet. Then, using your viewer, you will retrieve documents from your remote filing cabinet. But, how are you going to organize your remote filing system? Just getting it off your desk isn't enough. You need to organize the effort as simply as possible. So let's start with a plan that is simple to use, simple to teach to others, and simple to change as your needs change. What you will be doing is organizing documents into file folders, placing those folders into file drawers, and organizing the drawers into your file cabinet, or file room. We start by naming the file cabinet or file room with the name of the business. This small business has customers and vendors, so we'll need a file drawer for customers and one for vendors. We'll also create file drawers for general and administrative files, and a file drawer for our employee files. So this is how our simple system might look. You have a customer drawer, a vendor drawer, a general and administrative drawer, and your drawer for payroll. Now, let's look at how the filing cabinet looks on the Scan2Us remote site. You have all your drawers: customer, general and administration, payroll/human resources, and vendors. If we open the drawers, we see the folders. Each drawer has the folders that we will fill with documents. You can add more drawers as needed. But, start with the basics. Now let's open a file folder. The pages we uploaded are in the proper folder. Notice the columns to the right of each document. These are the index fields we use to identify the document. There is the document name, the date, a reference, and a field for comments. Each of these fields can be used to search for a document. If we were to select the cross button, which refers to the cross-reference index search, you would be invited to make your index selection. Enter the selection criteria into the index field and press search. The cross-reference search finds the single document with the reference, JARA. Notice the index fields, folder, document name, date, and reference. What you place in the index fields appears under these labels. Let's double-click the document and display the stored document. As you can see, the scanned document is displayed. There are additional search features. You can either search for something at the folder level or at the document level. For example, I want to search for a file folder in the annual budget drawer. In that case, I would check the folders button. But, if I wanted to search for a particular document, regardless of the drawer or drawers, I would check the document button. Let's move on. Inside those drawers you can have as many file folders as you want. 10, 20, or 100. You can have as many folders as you need. This system has been in place for many years and contains documents gathered from annual budgets, agendas for meetings, and the minutes of meetings. They also have a file drawer for all the ordinances and resolutions. There are a lot more documents in this configuration than would be in an ordinary business, but if you need it, it's there for you. Inside each file drawer are file folders, and inside each folder are the documents. Obviously, with all this horsepower, you can accomplish a lot, but you can also make things more complicated than necessary. So here are some rules to remember. Unlike physical filing systems, you don't have to worry about loading a document in alphabetic order. How you place documents into the system is less important. With a simple index system, which we will learn next, you can locate documents with ease. Remember, keep it simple, and, as your needs change, you can expand the system without affecting what you have already uploaded. Keeping it simple means, don't create too many file drawers, and don't make your index system too big. Less is more. Really. So, let's talk about indexing. print to us and scan to us. Use the same indexes to label your documents. In addition to the file drawer, the file folder and the document name, you will use the index to label each document so you can find them later. For the sake of this demonstration, we are offering several different indexes. In the real world you will be using only one universal index, but here are some examples you might use. Let's look at an index that is used by one of our auto dealers. This is a universal index that is used to process each vehicle transaction. They use a stock number, a VIN number, the date sold and lots of other fields. It works for them, and you can see what is available to you. Here is an index used by another one of our city customers. It's fairly simple. They use fields for the date, a reference entry, a separate year field, a label to classify budgets and a field for phone numbers. Here's an example of an index for a purchasing department. They want to recall documents by type, date, invoice, order or check number, and comments. This comment field is very powerful, because you can enter a phrase or a word or two that you might use to recall this document. And our final example, an index used by a realtor. Here, the index fields include a place for the buyer and seller, the subdivision and lot numbers, the date the contract was written and the date it was closed, and finally the multiple listing service number. Simple, but helpful in an office with multiple realtors. As important and useful as the index fields become in the future, most of the time you will find your documents simply by searching for it by its name. Or, you might want to pull up by the folder name and look through it for the documents you need, or you can look at a file drawer and drill down manually, until you find the documents you are looking for. But, where the indexes come in handy is when you can't remember the name or you want to look up all the sales you closed on a particular day or month. Remember, you develop your own index, we are just providing you with some working examples. Each universal index has up to 10 index fields. The order and value of each field is your choice. A final thought to remember. You might have a business with individually staffed departments. A separate department for account receivables, account payables, sales, etc. In that case, for security reasons we will discuss in a separate training video, you would set up individual file rooms or cabinets for each department. Here we have an accounts payable department with an entire file room for payables. In this situation, payables has its own separate index. It's time for you to put what you've learned into practice. Again, the best way to learn this simple system is to use it, and the best way to get started is to assemble a pile of documents and start scanning. Remember, nothing happens until something happens.